ancient moon festival coincides with the harvest moon, which is the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox. It occurs in September or early October on the Gregorian calendar, but on the lunar calendar, it's the 15th of the 8th lunar month. Each lunar month follows the waxing and the waning phases of the moon, so the 15th is in the middle of the cycle, which indicates a full moon. The moon festival first began more than 3,000 years ago as a celebration of the harvest moon with moon worshipping rituals in China. However, the earliest records of mooncakes only date back to the beginning of the Tang Dynasty in the 7th century. This is a mooncake fossil from the 7th century. Here's an imitation of a Tang Dynasty mooncake, based on a recipe allegedly from the 7th century. Ever since the 7th century, the Moon Festival has become an official holiday for family reunion, which means family members will get together for dinner with mooncakes for dessert. There are regional differences in Chinese mooncakes. The most commonly seen in the West are Cantonese mooncakes. Some Chinese markets in North America may also carry Shanghai-style mooncakes, which distinguish themselves by having a flaky white crust. In contrast, Vietnamese mooncakes look similar to their Cantonese counterparts, but come with other flavors. Koreans also eat mooncakes. Interestingly, Korean mooncakes are almond-shaped, but with round-shaped fillings inside, whereas the Japanese have round-shaped rice cakes for the Moon Festival. Nowadays, there are more and more new styles and novel flavors in mooncakes. These are ice cream mooncakes. These are wine-flavored mooncakes. Even a popular smoothie made of mango and pomelo is now a mooncake filling. Another interesting fact about mooncakes is that they once helped the Chinese overthrow the Mongol rule. The Mongols built a dynasty called Yuan in China in 1279. It lasted until 1368, when Chinese rebels hid the messages in mooncakes to plan a coup. The Mongols never discovered those messages because they didn't eat mooncakes. So mooncakes once changed the course of history, but today's mooncakes never carry any messages. While having mooncakes, parents may tell their children a folk tale about a lady flying to the moon. This lady, Chang'e, lived with her husband, Hou Yi, who was the #1 archer in the country. At the time, there were 10 suns in the sky. At first, they took turns to come out, but one day they decided to come out together, and that caused a serious drought. So the king had Hou Yi shoot down 9 of them. To reward Hou Yi, Queen Mother of Heaven gave him a pill of immortality and told him to share it with his wife Chang'e. However, Chang'e accidentally swallowed the entire pill. Then she turned into a goddess and had to fly to the moon by herself. Fortunately, she got a rabbit to keep her company. When they landed on the moon, the rabbit's body turned into jade. The jade rabbit started trying to create an herbal formula that would work as an antidote to the immortality pill in order for them to return to Earth. The lady and the jay the rabbit are not the only creatures on the moon. There's also a guy named Wugang, but he's too busy cutting an osmanthus tree to talk to Chang'e. Since Wugang offended the Emperor of Heaven, he was sent to the moon as a punishment. He cannot leave until cutting down this osmanthus tree. The problem is, the tree always heals itself perfectly after getting cut, so Wugang has to stay on the moon forever. The stories about Chang'e and Wugang are of course not real. Ancient Chinese created these stories because they saw shadows on the moon. That made them believe there must be someone living on the moon. We have to admire their imagination. However, there's a true story related to the Moon Festival, which is even more legendary. This true story is about my maternal grandfather. His date of birth happened to be the Moon Festival as well as the autumnal equinox. The coincidence was considered auspicious in Chinese culture. Plus, he was born in the year of the rabbit. However, according to Granddad, he had a near-death experience on the day he was born, and he had two more later, one during World War II and the other right after the Chinese Civil War. Had he lost his life during one of those crises, then my mother wouldn't have been born. In that case, I definitely wouldn't be here. So, Granddad's autobiography has made me cherish my life more. I've translated Granddad's memoir into English. This book serves as research material in the Hoover Institution because it contains first-hand information about World War II and the Chinese Civil War. It's also in the collections of the Stanford D Station Library and the Santa Clara County Library in California. Because of my granddad, the Moon Festival has always been my favorite Asian holiday. It's my great pleasure to introduce it to people from other cultures. Here's my English translation of a famous quote from a classical Chinese poem about the Moon Festival. Even thousands of miles apart, there's moonlight we share. Happy Moon Festival.